GP2 is the format for this event at TeamSport Sheffield. We've got 10 minutes of practice session, 15 minutes to qualify, and then a 30-minute race. It's not all just about speed, it's about strategy too, as we've got to switch karts in the middle of the chaos for our mandatory pit stop. Now, let's talk about the not so great start to the year. This is the third event of 2024, and guess what? It's also the third time I find myself tangled up in a crash. But hey, setbacks are just setups for comebacks, right? If you're craving more racing thrills, hit that subscribe button, because this is just the beginning of an epic journey in 2024. We're going to be chasing victories, conquering crashes, and living life in the fast lane. Don't miss a single moment. This is racing like you've never seen before. And yes, ChatGPT wrote that last paragraph. As always then, our practice session has to include the flag tests. Being members, we don't regularly watch the safety briefing video, so this ensures we all know what to do. The driver behind, who had been following very closely under the yellow flags, hasn't allowed himself enough room to react and has a temporary moment of not understanding the red flag and plows right into the back of me.
Stand up for a second. Do you want to sit out the front? Do you want to just take it in and then you can just go? Yeah, good.
I was actually in a lot of pain from that one. It just seemed to catch me at the wrong angle. Being right by the pits, I opted to make an unscheduled stop and try and walk it off a bit. After a while, with just a few moments of practice remaining, I jumped back into the kart to ensure the pain was manageable. I had been allocated kart 11 for this practice session, and despite having pretty much no exhaust left, it drove just like it always does. Kart 11 is certainly a trusty old steed, but now it sounds awesome too. I'm straight onto the pace with a low 58-second lap. Doing that in qualifying will normally result in a mid-grid start. This is Kart 11 though, so let's push it a little bit more. A 57.696, that's much better. I wasn't able to improve through my last time lap, but that 57.6 was good enough to be fourth fastest. Knowing I'm on the pace despite a little pain is a nice thing and puts me in the right frame for qualifying. We are of course in a different kart now, it's kart 3 for me. I'm given a quick warning before being allowed out.
Please no parking on top of anyone today. I'll try my best.
It was clear that this kart didn't have the same sort of pace, as I was only setting mid 58-second laps. That would have me towards the back of the grid. It's not good enough. Finally, after a few attempts, I was able to find some clear track and just push hard. hard enough to set a 58.190, a low 58 second. That should put me towards the middle of the grid. And the middle of the grid is exactly where I am. Out of 19 drivers, I've qualified in 11th place. My strategy has worked well in the past for this event though, so I'm hoping I'll be able to finish the race much nearer the front. As Tom was leaving the pits, he requested more air in one of his tyres. He was allowed some air. Dalton then asked for air in all of his tyres. So we've got 30 minutes from the moment these lights go to green. Let's wait for them to change. It's a good start on the inside and I'm up one place before we even cross the line. They tried to come back up to and through turn 2, but I'm able to hold on to that place. I momentarily thought about trying to follow Tom on the inside of Amelia through top pit lane, but I thought better of it. And I can immediately tell that I'm quick through the corners, but lacking a little bit of that low-end pace from this engine. I know the car in first place is a slow one, so I'm hoping we're going to be in a long train for now. And a train is exactly what happens. The problem with a train is if one person fails to make their move stick, they're usually going to fall back rather rapidly. Having dropped back on the previous lap, Freddie makes his stop for a new kart. It's really important to... Pit entry is on the racing line. Raising your hand lets the drivers behind know that you're not going to be running at full speed. I nearly went right into the back of him. A lap later, and Team Top Gun's Goose makes his stop into a new kart. So another lap and another pit stop. It looks like Dalton is making his this time. I'm looking around to see where those who have already stopped might be. The time difference between turns 3 and 4 that I refer to as top pits bend and turn 1 is around 15 seconds. A pit stop is usually between 15 and 20 seconds. I look behind to spot Lily. She had an awful qualifying session and started in 19th, that was last place. She's in KARTS 11 though and has caught the back of the trainer, which is in 8th place. My brake pedal has suddenly got very long, which means I have to press it all the way down before they'll do anything. If the pits are clear, I think I'll play it safe and swap kart on this lap. I clearly raise my hand long before the pit entry, as I know Lily is right behind me. As I exit the pits, I'm pleased to see, but slightly concerned, that I'm right in front of Dalton. He stopped on lap 7. He's quick, so I'll need to drive well, without brakes. So why didn't I swap car? Well, as you saw, the pit lane was empty. At the start of this race, there were 20 karts available, with 19 drivers. On lap 10, Dan broke his kart, the belt snapped, so he was swapped into that sole remaining kart. Anyone who had pitted before this was disadvantaged, as they had to complete an actual kart swap. Everyone else, like myself, was just held for a short time before being released again. Strategy was now out the window. This was going to come down to luck. All this, and I'm still driving a kart with next to no ability to slow down. The good news is Dalton seems to be lacking pace in whatever kart he has ended up in, and thankfully I'm pulling away. I've caught sight of another kart up ahead, he's a back marker, a whole lap down. The red flags come out for an incident I'm not sure of. Once I come to a stop though, I sit there pumping the brakes, hoping it might help. The incident gets cleared, and as I come through the lower complex, I see Anton emerge from the pits in front of me. He was a few karts ahead when I stopped, so it's a good sign, although I'd rather have got in front. I cleared the back marker easily enough on the way up to the ramp. That's Lily. She's managed to get her pit stop done and jumped me in the process. That's Tom too. He was in second when I last saw him though. I'm desperately trying to find some pace, and in doing so I smacked the inside barrier on the apex. I've gained a place on Finn though, as he's made his stop. He was just behind Anton when I last saw him. I wouldn't have actually gone for that, I don't think. I was just trying to put him off. I couldn't see anyone there on the video, but I've gained another place with someone else making their pit stop. Looking at the driver positions in the app, it looked like it was Amelia, who was directly in front of me when I stopped. Again, I can't quite see it on camera, but one of the other Toms stopped this lap, so I'm up to 5th now. I've made quite a few positions over these pit stops. There is only one other car left to stop. I'll have to try and make a couple of positions on track. Kart 3 here is another back marker, and after holding me up for a few corners, he moves aside to let me and anyone behind come through. Lily has caught another back marker, but they're not going to make it easy, defending hard to hold their place that they've already lost. Maybe I can find a way past Tom through all of this. Lily did find her way past, so let's see how Anton gets on. Tom moves slightly wide trying to avoid Anton, and I've put myself in that small gap, and I get past at the inside. I find myself on the outside of the back marker, but drop back in behind, wary of losing that place out to Tom. Another back marker has moved wide to let us through. I'm hoping they didn't lose a position in the process, but it does look like they might have done so. Tom's realised that I need a little bit of a push to get past. He bumps me up the ramp and I hold on down the inside into turn 1, although I'm still slightly conscious of my braking issue. Kart 1 gets a better exit and Tom is still bumping me along. Kart 1 slides wide and I get alongside. I shut the door on the right-hander. It was a little bit naughty, but I wanted to ensure that Tom found his way past too. After all, he had been trying to help me out. So by way of saying thanks, Tom makes a desperate dive up the inside of me through the pits complex. I'm able to hold my position, but Tom ended up losing out to Finn here. There's a marshal standing with a checkered flag right by the finishing line. This must be our last lap. I feel quite slow coming into this complex, so I sit on the apex to ensure whoever is behind me can't get a run into the next hairpin. And I crossed the line with a fist in the air. I knew I had Lily and Anton in front of me somewhere, but I wasn't sure how far up the order I was. The final Tom, who started in first place and led every lap, failed to make his mandatory pit stop. I'm not 100% sure what the penalty was, but he was demoted to third place. Lily started this race last and made her way up to the top step. That is an impressive recovery drive. Well done, Lily. Anton started fourth and finished in second place. It was disappointing to not quite make that podium. If I'd not been held up as much by Kart 1 and was able to keep up with Anton and Lily, maybe I'd have been close enough to gain through that penalty, but who really knows? As always then, thank you so much for joining me on my go-karting adventures. Don't forget to smash that like button, leave any feedback down below in those comments, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications as well. The next video is going to be my community race. I'm going to try and do a fast turnaround on that and have it out really quickly after the event. I'll then be taking a break for a couple of weeks, something I intended to do at the beginning of January. Unless something else special happens, I'll be back on the 19th of February. Until next time though, cheers.